The nobility of the human spirit blooming amid chaos. Reading Boris Pasternak's Dr. Zhivago. Dear beloved readers, hello. Are you finding it difficult to read books? Do you feel they are too thick, their contents complex, or their background knowledge insufficient? That's perfectly natural. However, I firmly believe that reading the book I will introduce to you today, although it may be a challenging journey, will offer you an extraordinary experience that broadens your thoughts and hearts. It is Boris Pasternak's masterpiece, Dr. Zhivago. This book is as vast as the Russian snowy plains and as deep as the turbulent waves of revolution. Although the title might feel daunting or outdated at first, please set aside your preconceptions for a moment and listen to my explanation. This novel is not just a simple story. It is a living testimony of history and a record of an individual's noble spirit that captures the inherent beauty and suffering we can all find in our lives. 1. Beyond thick book pages, into the whirlwind of an era. Dr. Zhivago follows the tumultuous life of Yuri Zhivago, a doctor and poet, amidst the immense upheaval of the early 20th century Russian Revolution. As you turn the pages, you will be thrown into the heart of the First World War and the pivotal historical transition marked by the Russian Revolution. The collapse of autocracy and the initial idealistic dreams of revolution quickly transform into bloody civil war and the madness of totalitarianism. In this chaotic era, individual lives resemble small boats tossed by colossal waves. Zhivago is precisely that boat. Though he passionately tries to heal people's pain as a doctor, he experiences frustration in the face of violence and neglect under the name of revolution. As a poet, he sings of beauty and tries to preserve human dignity, yet his voice gradually fades in a society governed by monotonous ideologies and control. He is merely a fragile individual before grand ideologies and systems. However, it is within this fragility that Pasternak discovers the true strength and beauty of the human spirit. The novel also features other captivating characters. There is Tanya, Zhivago's wife, a pragmatic woman, Lara, his fateful love interest, who remains resilient despite profound suffering across eras, and Strelnikov, Pasha Antipov, who tragically meets his end at the forefront of revolution. The stories of these characters, woven together like a complex tapestry of threads, evoke profound emotional resonance and deeply move the reader. Their relationships transcend mere romance, prompting fundamental questions about love, friendship, betrayal, and sacrifice at the core of human existence. Particularly, the love between Zhivago and Lara resembles a beam of light blooming amid a chaotic era. Amid destruction and loss, they find human connection and solace in each other. Their love transcends societal norms and moral judgments, embodying a deeper dimension of meaning, survival, and spiritual communication. This is the way the author shows how love, the purest human emotion, can both give meaning to life and become a symbol of resistance amid violence and destruction. 2. The backside of revolution and the inherent value of humanity. One of the most insightful messages Dr. Zhivago offers is understanding how the vast historical tide of revolution influences individual lives and how the ideals of revolution can become corrupted. The Russian Revolution began with a noble dream for a better world. Isn't the vision of a world where everyone is equal and free beautiful? However, through Yuri Zhivago's eyes, Pasternak unflinchingly reveals the tragic consequences that arise as these ideals are realized. While revolution brought hope to people, it also destroyed long-standing ways of life and values. Individual freedom was suppressed under the name of the collective, and human emotions were measured through ideological standards. Art and literature became mere propaganda tools, and human diversity was entirely rejected. Zhivago personally experiences the destructive nature of revolution. He does not reject revolution itself but feels deep skepticism when he observes how the ideals it promised transform into violence and control in reality. He values individual lives and emotions, as well as their dignity, above the grand ideologies of revolution. This is one of the core messages Pasternak conveys through Dr. Zhivago. No matter how noble the cause or ideals, if they harm individual freedoms and dignity and deny the inherent diversity of humanity, can they truly be considered progress or genuine happiness? This message remains profoundly relevant in our modern society. We often overlook individual voices in the face of grand discourses or collective interests and blindly believe that certain ideologies or thoughts hold answers to all problems. However, Dr. Zhivago warns us that such beliefs can be dangerous. True progress is achieved not through grand slogans but only when individual lives are respected and their happiness is guaranteed. 3. Art and nature, and the eternal flame of the human spirit. What Zhivago clung to until the end amidst chaos and destruction was the love for art, especially poetry, and for nature. While he healed people's physical pain as a doctor, he healed the pain of his era and his inner self as a poet. His poetry served as evidence that the human soul remained alive amidst the gunfire of revolution. Through poetry, he clung to beauty and sowed seeds of hope in the face of despair. For Zhivago, nature was another sanctuary for his spirit. The vast Russian snowy plains, forests, and rivers embraced his sorrow, provided him with inspiration, and reminded him of life's meaning. When revolution attempted to uniformly destroy everything, nature revealed an unchanging vitality and beauty that offered humans comfort and healing. This symbolizes that, no matter how great the civilizations and ideologies we create, we are ultimately part of nature and can only discover our true selves within it. Pasternak emphasizes through Zhivago's poetry that art is not merely a leisure activity or hobby but a fundamental necessity for living authentically as a human being. Even in moments when violence reigns and everything seems meaningless, the desire to pursue beauty and create is like an eternal flame burning from the deepest part of the human spirit. This flame is the source of power that allows life to continue through hardship and inspires dreams of hope amid despair. How about you? Have you ever paused for a moment in your busy daily life to savor a beautiful line of poetry or find solace in a quiet natural setting? While we often strive for efficiency and material value, Dr. Zhivago urges us to stop briefly and reconsider the value of pursuing our innate senses, emotions, and beauty. That pursuit is the real richness of life and will become a spiritual asset that supports us through any adversity. 4. Implications for readers of our time: the value of reading to broaden knowledge and cultivation. Let us now return to the beginning of this long article. Why is reading a thick and difficult book like Dr. Zhivago essential for those who lack knowledge and cultivation? I believe the answer lies in the expanded vision this book provides us. First, fostering historical insight and empathy. Reading Dr. Zhivago means not just learning about the Russian Revolution but also glimpsing the lives of ordinary people who endured suffering and resistance amid historical turmoil. By empathizing with the joys and sorrows, hopes and frustrations of the characters, we gain a broad perspective for understanding others. This enhances our comprehension of contemporary social issues and global affairs and builds the foundation for cultivating tolerance for those with different backgrounds. Second, developing critical thinking and forming independent values. This book does not clearly define absolute right and wrong or good and evil. Instead, it presents the conflict between revolution's ideals and reality, between individual desires and collective demands, encouraging readers to question and find their own answers. Training ourselves to establish personal thoughts and values without being blindly swept away by grand ideologies or mass trends is a crucial intellectual ability we must possess in today's information-saturated age. Third, awakening awareness of the inherent beauty and dignity of humanity. Dr. Zhivago reveals how noble and beautiful the human spirit can be, even amid a chaotic and impoverished world, through love, art, and reverence for nature. These emotions awaken the purity and beauty dormant within us and guide us to seek the true meaning of life beyond material possessions. This is the core of cultivation, allowing us to rediscover the value of both ourselves and others and enrich our lives. Dear readers, a book is not simply a bundle of paper. It is a living voice that carries the thoughts and feelings of the author beyond time and a door that leads us to worlds we have never experienced. Initially, Dr. Zhivago may seem daunting and difficult. However, as you read sentence by sentence and paragraph by paragraph, you will soon find yourself empathizing with Yuri Zhivago's struggles, marveling at Lara's resilience, and becoming deeply immersed in the human drama unfolding against the historical backdrop of revolution. This experience goes beyond merely increasing knowledge. It will inevitably bring about some kind of subtle change within your heart. It could be a new perspective on the world, profound contemplation on the meaning of life, or perhaps just the pure joy of a beautiful sentence. Therefore, do not hesitate. I strongly recommend you open the first page of Dr. Zhivago starting from today. It is my heartfelt hope that this book will offer you deep insight and emotional resonance, becoming the beginning of a precious journey that broadens your horizons of knowledge and cultivation. After all, reading is the very act that enriches life.